Three.
Hello, my name is Joseph. Could I get your name?
Hi, my name is Chelsea. It's nice to meet you today.
It's nice to meet you too. How have you been doing today?
Honestly, not that good.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I'm just kind of struggling, so that's why I'm here.
Okay. So tell me a little bit about that. What brings you here today, and what do you hope to achieve with our conversation?
So, what kind of brings me here is grief. I lost my mom about 3 years ago, and I know that was a very traumatic experience in my life, but I just feel like I've never fully gotten my life back, and that I've just been in this constant state of grief for the last 3 years, and I'm ready to start living my life again.
Well, first of all, I want to tell you I'm very sorry to hear about the loss of your mother. My deepest condolences during this very difficult time. You said that she passed 3 years ago.
Yeah, it was 3 years in February, so it's like 3.5 years right now.
Okay. So have you spoken to anyone professionally about the loss of your mother?
No, not really. I've just kind of been, for the last 3 years, I've kind of been to myself, very, very self-isolated. I've not had the motivation or the drive to do anything. So I've never wanted to seek out help before.
And like I said, I can only imagine how challenging such a loss is. But I do want to acknowledge that seeking help, it's a true sign of strength, and definitely not a sign of weakness. And it also shows me, but it should also show yourself that you're invested in your own healing journey. So tell me a little bit about how you told me that you've had a loss of motivation and a loss of joy. What other ways has the loss of your mother affected your daily life and routines?
Well, in the way that it's affected my daily life is I just have no motivation to do anything. Most days I just want to stay in bed, curled up, self-isolated. I don't want to hang out with my friends. I don't want to hang out with like go on a walk with my dogs or play with my animals. I don't want to see my friends. I just want to stay in my dark room to myself.
I'm sorry to hear that. So things have been very, very challenging for you. Are there any other ways that you have had any particular challenges? Are you currently working, or?
I am. I work at a school, in a school system in Hawkins County, Tennessee. And I don't know, my grief is really, really bad, and I find myself dragging to get up and go to work. I don't want to see kids those days. Sometimes I just want to close my office door and put the sign out that Counselor Chelsea's busy. And I know that's not good for me, and it's not good for my students that I see, because I want to be the best version of myself for my students. And And so, but yeah, that's really, I just find myself not wanting to get out of bed. Like, I get to work late. I have no energy. I feel like I'm lacking in all aspects.
Well, again, you're telling me a lot of very common symptoms of grief, but I know that everyone needs to work through their individual experiences in grief. So can you tell me, what are some? Have you tried to do any self-care, any kind of coping for these experiences and these emotions that you're going through?
Well, as far as self-care, that's really kind of been neglected for the past 3 years. I'm just now starting, like, the last couple months to get into not so much a routine, but very sporadically doing things that I used to love to do. I've been hanging out with my friends more. Not all the time, but occasionally I'll be like, hey guys, I actually feel good enough to go with you guys. Do you want to do something? And sometimes if they say no, it makes me feel like I'm less important to them because I've not been there very presently the last 3 years. And so it just makes me not want to do stuff if they can't do it that day. But I'm trying to get better at self-care. I've been taking a lot of baths because that's what helps me clear my mind. Going outside and swinging in the hammock, doing stuff in nature, things that used to make me happy. Yeah.
Well, that's wonderful. I can see that you're trying to cope and to work through your grief, and of course you knew to come here today and seek help to talk, and of course this shows wonderful instincts in knowing what's good for you. So very good job on that, and I want to encourage you that everything you've told me so far is, I don't want to sound like I am telling you that your individual feelings are not important, but just know that a lot of the symptoms, as I had mentioned earlier, it's grief is a very complex thing, and every individual will handle it differently. So we're just going to walk together and see if we can figure out better ways to explore. I know that the loss of a loved one is very hard. Speaking of that, tell me something about your mother, something that you remember, something that brings you joy, peace about her.
So the thing I remember most about my mom is her unending love and joy for everyone around her. It didn't matter if you had hurt her in the past. It didn't matter what walk of life you would come from. It didn't matter what you had done, where you had been. She loved everyone unconditionally. And she loved me unconditionally, knowing all the mess ups I made in childhood, young adulthood, before she passed away. And she was still always on my side, always loving, and always reassuring that, there's always gonna be a good outcome if I put my mind to it. And so just her love and her compassion for others, she would quite literally give the shirt off of her back to someone if they had asked. Like, I remember one time I don't remember where exactly we were, but there was this homeless man that was on the side of the road, and he was asking for a ride somewhere. And we were on the way back from And she was like, well, I can take you as far as Kingsport. I think he was trying to get to, like, Gate City, which is, like, the next town over in Virginia from where I'm at. And she was like, well, I can get you as far as Kingsport. And even though this man, regardless of what he was going through, and what I can remember from that time was, I remember he didn't smell the greatest or look the greatest. His hygiene wasn't kept up, which, I mean, I guess for homeless people, I mean, is kind of accurate, but she didn't care. She invited him in her car, and we drove him like almost an hour from where he was to a closer destination. So, and it's just things like that that make me smile when I think and remember of her, because she would do anything for anybody.
So what I'm hearing is your mother had a very big heart.
Yes.
And from what you've told me, you're concerned for the kids that you work with, your friends that you care about. It sounds like your heart is in line with that. So I believe that that would definitely make your mother proud. Where would you like to see growth in your life? What would you like? What would be different if you learned to cope better, to positively handle some of your grief? What do you think would change?
I think my entire life would change. Because like I said, right now, I mean, the last 3 years have been the hardest and most challenging, and I've not wanted to do anything with anybody. I've just kind of wanted to self-isolate. So I think if I had ways to better cope with my strategies and things like that, that I would be able to get my life back. I would be able to want to get out of bed. I would be able to want to take my dogs to the park. I would want to be able to hang out with my friends. I feel like I would want to do all the things that this grief has robbed me of the last 3 years.
Very good. So from what I've heard about your mother, I think she would agree with what you just said. I believe that she would want you to live your life, to find the positive. Would you agree with that?
I do. She always wanted what was best for me. I mean, even I see signs of her all the time now anyway. I still see, even though I'm an adult now and I should know how to do things on my own, and I still see like little glimpses. I feel like I still see little glimpses of her, like in things that she knows that I need to do. She's like, I feel like she gives me like a little nudge. She's like, yeah, this is what you need to do, or hey, don't do this. Like, I don't know, I feel her with me, and I feel that's what she would want.
So your mother remains a significant guide in your life.
Very much so. I find myself a lot of times doing things the way she used to do them. One thing that she's passed on to me is my love of people. I mean, I know it's not, for some people it's not been real evident this last 3 years, because I've been going through my grief and I've just been going through the motions, but prior to that, I would do, and I'm starting to get back into that habit, I would do anything for anybody. If they need food, they need money for bills, they need a ride, they need dog food for their animals, they need a place to stay. I had one of my friends stay on my couch for 3 months because he had been kicked out of his house and he needed a place to go, and I was like, I don't have a spare bedroom in my house, but I've got a couch if you're willing. And so I just hope that that's what she wants, and that's what she's passed on to me.
Very good. I believe those are great things that you shared there. I think that your mother, from what you have told me, I don't know you, but I do think that what I'm seeing coming from you is a lot of strength that you don't realize that you have. And I believe that, again, as I said, the fact that you're here and the fact that you're so aware that you do need some assistance is very important. So many people are in denial, and I see you wanting to have some change in your life. Before we close out today, I just want to kind of make sure that we're on the same page. Just things we talked about. That way I can keep things straight in my head. Of course, that is if you would like to continue to talk. Is that something you're interested in?
Yeah.
Okay. So today, you talked to me about your grief. We made some time and space where you could openly express your emotions about your mother and navigating some of the challenges of this loss. And we focused on you wanting to honor your mother, her memory, acknowledging some of the strengths that you feel she instilled in you, and that this hurt and this confusion and possibly some unhealthy coping methods have prolonged some of your healing. Does that sound similar to what we've talked about today?
It does. I've not been very progressive in my healing because I don't think I've wanted to be. I think for me, I've wanted to wallow in my grief. Because I feel like if I stayed in that period of grief that it wasn't real, or that I would walk through my front door one day and she'd still be there, prolonging her memory, even when I know that she's in a better place. I mean, I know she's in heaven and that I'll get to see her one day, and so I wanted to wallow in my misery for my sake, but I'm ready to finally start getting out of my hole and my grief and all these things that I've been going through. I'm ready. And I know I've always heard that progress isn't linear. It may be, 2 or 3 steps forward and 5 or 6 steps back. But, I mean, and you said this just a second ago that I took a big step even coming here, and that was really encouraging to me, because up until now, I've not been willing. And so I'm ready to take back my life and find ways to help me.
Again, as our session comes to a close, I believe that's a place to put, as they say, a pin in it. We can continue another day and express you'd be interested in that. But more than anything, I just want to acknowledge you, the progress that you've made, even today, and the insights that you've shared about your own struggles and journey. That is strength, and you can give that honor to your mother for giving you that strength. You talked about wanting to see your mother, but we can find her in talking about her. We can find her in your emotions and pulling out these strengths and these gifts that you have inside of yourself. These are pieces of her, and I'm here to support you on this journey of discovery and trying to find a better coping mechanism, maybe some healing. And I definitely look forward to our next meeting. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we end this today?
I I know we are still getting to know each other, but I just want to say thank you. I mean, a lot of the last couple of years, no one has really tried to take the time to help me. They all just want to say, "Oh, I'm so sorry for you for what you're going through," and they want to pat me on the back because I'm the poor girl that her mom has died. So I mean, I know it's your job, but I just want to say thank you for being willing to help me find it in myself to move on and move forward.
Well, thank you for that. I'm here. I'm here for you. I'm here for anyone that wants to walk through that door and find something different. But remember, it's you who came here. I did not carry you here, so that's on you, and that's great. So I want you to just be encouraged that I believe that you're on the right path, and I believe that you're making your mother proud by these steps. So I really look forward to meeting with you again.
Thank you.
Okay. I hope you have a good day, and if you need anything, please get the contact numbers from the front desk,
Okay.
and we'll talk to you next time.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.